Hello, everyone, and welcome to Global Character Day. I am so thrilled to have Jane Golden here from the Mural Arts Philadelphia project. I had the pleasure of meeting Jane when I went to the Character Lab conference, where she put on an excellent presentation and told us all about her amazing projects bringing art and culture and beauty to the city of Philadelphia as well as worldwide. So without further ado, welcome, Jane.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. So just wanted to jump right into things. And why don't you tell us a little bit about your Mural Arts program and why it's just so spectacular and has taken off so brilliantly?
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your kind words. The Mural Arts program is a citywide, community-based public art program that believes deeply and passionately that everyone everywhere deserves access to art. And this manifests itself in public art throughout the city, programs for people who have been incarcerated, young people, middle school kids and teenagers, people coming out of prison. We work with community groups, neighborhood associations, and along with that, we also do giant public art projects. So it's about the impact of beauty and the impact of robust programming and how the intersection of art and social change can have a profound impact on a city.
And how would you say that art impacts character development and character education? How have you seen that come to fruition in your daily activities with these kids?
Well, I think in essence, we're an art program, but we're also a leadership program. I think what we're doing is challenging young people to make their mark on the city in a big, bold, beautiful, and inspiring way. We're asking them to not be passive, that they should be an active participant in the narrative that's impacting their lives. And so what we see is that they go from feeling as though they have failure etched in their forehead to suddenly seeing themselves in terms of their potential. You know, what makes a young person come to life? And I think we all want to feel worthwhile. We want to feel like we're doing something, we're changing something, we're making an impact, we're feeling good about our lives. And with the work we're doing, it's not just about learning skills, but it's learning to give back. And so it's incredibly rewarding all the time. It's restorative on many levels.
And how do you see the creativity of these projects come to be? I know that you have a specific collaborative approach that you specifically use. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. We have a community-based methodology where we engage citizens in a conversation about what they want in their lives, on their walls, in their communities. It's very participatory. We believe really deeply that art should not be parachuted down from the sky. Instead, it should be created in careful and deliberate, intentional collaboration with people. Also, I think it's really important that we tangle with the issue of representation. Who is doing the representing? Who's getting represented? I mean, right now there's a national conversation about monuments and memorials going on around this country, and a lot of people feel very left out of that conversation. Well, I would posit that in Philadelphia, people don't feel that way. People feel that their histories, their stories, their struggles, their triumphs have been made manifest bold on walls throughout the city. And I think there's something really wonderful about that, that you can go into any neighborhood of the city, any neighborhood, and people will feel not just that they have a work of art, but that they were somehow involved in that work of art. This is not art that happens by committee as far as making it. So it's beautiful, it's aesthetically pleasing, but it's art that takes into account the people who live there. So it's a very respectful process. And in essence, I think that our work has become the autobiography of the city of Philadelphia. If you came here tomorrow and I took you on a tour, you would learn so much about our city.
And it seems that a lot of these murals are bringing communities together and, as you say, also representing them well, which is so important. You did tell me one story when I was in your at the conference at Character Lab, where you were talking about how you were putting up this one mural and that two different communities were fighting over that. Do you remember that story by chance?
Well, that's happened a number of times. Can you remind me what the mural looked like? Remind me what the mural.
I don't remember, but can you kind of just give one example of how that has come to be and how you've overcome that and brought communities together through art?
Yeah, I mean, we did a series that I'm very proud of called Healing Walls, where we worked with crime victims and victims advocates and men in the prison at Graterford. It's a state prison not too far from here. And when we started the project, it was about the impact and consequences of crime. And when we started, everybody felt like their pain was greater than the other person's, that the groups were so different, that people couldn't work together. The idea was, can we come together to think about the impact crime has on the city and what we can do about it? Because all of you have experienced it from a different point of view. Can we put that aside and think about the greater good? At first, there was so much acrimony. At first, nobody wanted to talk to each other. And then people started talking, but even that was uneven. But when they started creating together and sitting side by side, something miraculously shifted. Like, people were able to see each other in terms of their humanity and commonality instead of difference. And that, to me, is what is so interesting. So can art be a platform? Can art be a forum? Can art be a place where we come together and engage in a conversation, acknowledging our diversity, but diversity that exists within a commonality? And I think that's what we've been able to see again and again and again. Now, we're working all over the city all the time, big, complicated projects, small, intimate projects. But there's something really palpable that happens every time we're working, and that is around engagement and representation and participation. So something happens. There's some change. You feel like in some way we're moving the needle. And what's so interesting, what I love, is that the change occurs in the built environment and the change happens in individuals almost all the time. It's universal.
I absolutely, absolutely love that. And I think that this is a good segue. If you'd like to show two of the murals that you have worked on, I would love you to put them up and explain to our audience what they mean. This is one of my favorites. I absolutely love this one. So Jane, tell us what's going on here in this mural.
Sure. So this is called Aquí y Allá. And this one is by Michelle Angela Ortiz, who is a local muralist and artist, but she's actually working internationally now. And she had a special grant, and she was working in Juarez, Mexico, and she wanted to do a major project about immigration and the impact of deportation on families and how it tears families apart. And what does it mean to leave a country and go somewhere else? What does it mean to acclimate? What does it mean to really deal with the trauma of loss? And so we worked with a team of young people from Juarez and a team of young people in our art education program in Philadelphia, and that's how this mural came to life. We want our kids to feel that they're citizens of the world. We want to connect them to the larger world. We want them to understand social and political issues going on in our society. And we want them to be really like activists is what we want. You know, I see artists as change agents, and certainly Michelle is emblematic of that. And we want our kids to feel that way as well. So we're all very proud of this project.
I absolutely love that project, and it just I'm reminded how much I loved it, because this, of course, is such a timely issue. And I was a painting major myself, and so it hits close to home where you use art and the canvas to truly show your true emotions, your whole story, and to act as an activist for social change. I think that if you are an artist, you do have a responsibility to share your voice and to share your view of the world. So I really appreciate that.
Yes, you've just made a wonderful point. I totally agree with you. And I think Michelle subscribes to that. And so she inspires everyone she touches. And she's always thinking about, how can she use her art as a platform and is a tool of advocacy, because art can do that. It can, raise awareness in ways other things can't.
Absolutely. And Jane, can you show your other photo as well?
Sure.
Your project?
I can.
I could sit here and look at all of your beautiful murals all day. Is there a place that people can go? What is the website that people can go and look at your work, Jane?
It's muralarts.org. It's a terrific website, and it's chock full of information. And this one is called Frequencies. And this is really beautiful. It's about brain science. And we have a program. This is by Ben Balta, by the way. Mm-hmm. And we have a program that runs during the school day that merges math, science, and art. And Ben was one of the learners where he was like a resistant learner as it relates to math and science. And when he was at the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Art, he was taking academic classes at Penn, and he realized the connection between some of his classes and art making. And it was like he became sort of like a believer that art can be a tool to bring young people into this area where sometimes they have a lot of insecurity. And so he has really led the way for us to develop this great during the school day program that is about STEAM. And so we see kids go from being very intimidated by math and science to being much more interested. In fact, a principal recently told me that the scores in science went up, and she in her school, and she attributed to Ben's program. So I'm really excited about that. And here we also partnered with the Franklin Institute. So it was this great learning, very rich and robust. And then this mural went in a community. We have this giant waiting list of people who want our work, which is great. The demand exceeds our ability to do it. And from the minute we started the dedication, a group of women were cheering. I said, good morning. And these women start cheering, going, yay, yay. So after the dedication, I went up to them and I said, you guys are so like enthusiastic. And they said, we are hungry for beauty, and we have been on your waiting list for years, and we cannot thank you enough. And it's like, to hear things like that, it just sort of reminds us all of the power of beauty. We have 4,000 works of art in the city, in every single neighborhood, 4,000. And I think if people would just close their eyes for a minute and think, what would Philly be like without the works of art, without murals, without sculptures, without color? It is just chilling, right? Because when you impact the environment, you inevitably impact the lives of people who are there.
Well, thank you so much, Jane. We're out of time, but I really just want to thank you for bringing more beauty into this world, and so much creativity, and bringing just curiosity and excitement around all of your projects. Your passion for what you do is infectious. So thank you so much for joining us. Absolutely. Take care.
I feel very honored to be part of this. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Take care.
Bye.